I've been playing around today with watercolor and ink. I can't make up my mind what to do. You know what it's like sometimes. We all have days like this, don't we? So anyway, I thought I would ring the changes a little bit, and I've got a pad of hot pressed watercolor paper here, and I'm going to start painting some florals. And it's basically, I think everyone is like this. It's my go-to, so to speak. I'm not sure if I really like that expression, but it's true, nevertheless. Somehow flowers always kind of tick the boxes for us, don't they? And I've never thought I was particularly gifted in the area of flowers, florals and things, and certainly YouTube doesn't appreciate my florals, really. I often get far fewer views, but on florals, I don't know why. I think they think that I paint birds and only birds, and therefore they always show my birds. But we won't worry about that today because we're just going to paint some splodges, and this you could call. What do you call it? You could call it, what do you call it? This is opera pink, which is a bit what I would call in your face, so to speak, as we say in England. And so I mix it with other colours. I like to mix the opera with quinacridone rose, which is this. And I like to paint on hot press paper, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, because it's smooth and you get a different feel, when you do that, you get a different feel. I'm going into the quinacridone gold at the moment here, and this might give us a background for our leaves as well. So I'm going to start joining these flowers together, and we'll just practice doing lines. And I'm going to pick up some really dark green here, take that down the back here, and we're just thinking in terms of design, really, not really thinking even. I do like it when you mix together two colours on the paintbrush, and when you press down and you get like this with the green and the yellow side by side. And I also like it when you can give a nice dark centre and then just put some stems in, bring them down into the main stem like that. Works particularly well on smooth cold hot press paper. And then we're going to pop in some really big chunky leaves. Perylene green, this is perylene green, which is I think this one's a Michael Harding perylene green, but I think Mr. Smith does it too. So I'm going to do some really runny stems over here. Just put lots and lots of water into this really dark colour and let it kind of play around. And I might go back to the what do you call it? Quinacridone gold, and I'm going to put some more of that over here. I think it's nice if you can establish a really strong, I'm going to go over this because I want to establish a really strong tonality with lots of bright colours. And I'm not worrying at all about lots of brights and lots of darks, strong. We need strength right now, don't we? And let's put some nice big leaves over here. I was practicing painting maple leaves this morning. Maybe we'll do a painting of some maple leaves soon. Okay, and I think maybe put a little bit more this over here, a bit darker, quinacridone. And then one of the things I do like to do is to use a dip pen. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to outline these. This is sepia ink, and I like to let it run into the wet paint, like that. And we'll just drag it down some places. And we let it do its own thing, really. We are definitely not aiming for realism. We're just aiming for pattern and enjoyment. You know, if you look out at nature in the real world outside your window, well, that's good. You see how that went in there? If I was to lift that out with a tissue, you might get some really interesting effects, because that's quite, yeah, see? You have to press quite hard with this pen. This is a, I believe, a speedball, which is an old make, but it's still out there. You could wait for it to dry completely. But you wouldn't get any of these lovely blooms if you did that, like that. And as I said, if you feel it's gone a bit far, just dab it out. Take it under control. When it's dry, we could come in with some white if we wanted to, or gold. We just let it do whatever it wants to do, basically. You never know what you're going to get and how it's going to look when it's dry. Okay, well, that's looking okay, as if we're getting towards the end of it here a little bit. So maybe I will, I think, perhaps strengthen this one up a bit. A nice dark pink. Got a lot of ink on that one, but we could put some white on top once that's dry. So I think what I'll do is dry it with a hairdryer. Now, I'm very sorry about this, but somebody phoned my phone just now, and I didn't realise when that happens, it cuts me off, turns my camera off. So I wasn't able to record myself doing the white paint lines, the white pen lines on top of the painting. So just so that you know, I used a Signo Broad gel pen here. This is just a white one. This is a new pen and it's pretty good. And as you can see, it does do quite nice white lines. And all I did was basically scribbled over the whole thing. And because that's the kind of mood I'm in at the moment. So we can leave it like that. And I'm not completely happy with it, but I'm not completely unhappy with it. But don't go away, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at this what do you call it, dots sheet, which is from Daniel Smith. I haven't swatched this out yet, and I'm very curious about this because at the top here we've got the 36 Primatech colours, which are very interesting and good. And I don't know them all, you see. I only know the 6 that I got in my little set, which you've seen me use before, these ones here. And a lot of people have bought this set, which has got hematite, rhodonite, piemontite or piemontite, amethyst, Mayan blue, and jadeite in it. That's these colours here. You wouldn't know that they were anything from that, would you? But when they're painted out, they look like that. And so actually there are 36 of those, all of these ones here. And they look like something completely different when they've been swatched out. So there they are. And then there's a whole bunch more. There's these ones which are ordinary colours, then these ones which are iridescents. So I think what I might do, I roughly know what these are. Like I said, I've got them here. And I'm going to try to collect a few more of these, I think, if I can find them. I think I might get them from Jackson's over here. Well, in England anyway. So let's have a look and see what these colours are like, shall we? Let us take a paintbrush and a piece of cloth to dry the brush in between. And we'll start with quinacridone burnt orange. And I know what you're meant to do. You're meant to paint in this section here, you're supposed to paint it what they call mass tone, which is the darkest colour you can make it. So, you know, something like that. And then you're supposed to sort of wet the rest of it and let the whole thing flow along and see what happens. See how far it goes. But I think these swatches are a bit too small. Something we thought about doing a while ago was to produce our own swatch cards so that you could properly swatch things, because this is a bit ridiculous, really. So this is quinacridone burnt scarlet. That one was quinacridone burnt orange. So we just wet this and see what happens. That one's not going to spread much, is it? Quinacridone deep gold. That one doesn't seem to want to move as much. It must have some heavier pigment in it. Quinacridone coral. That's going to be a pink, isn't it? I would have thought. Interesting colour. And then we've got quinacridone fuchsia. Oh, long gone are the days when there was only quinacridone gold. That doesn't seem to pick up very well. Try again. That's better. Interesting. And then we've got good old quinacridone gold. That was the first colour I ever used that was a completely pure synthetic, the quinacridone gold of old. And it was quite astonishing because until then, the only colour that was remotely like that was burnt sienna. But burnt sienna seems dull by comparison, I have to say. I'm sure you've got burnt sienna. This is burnt sienna. Let's try it on another piece of paper here. You can see how basically, well, I hope you can see that. I think you probably can. It's much duller. Doesn't have any real vibrance. So although burnt sienna used to be one of my favourite colours, it has lost out to the quinacridones. All right, this is quinacridone magenta. Someone said to me the other day that they'd heard that they were going to stop making colours with quinacridone. I hope that's not true. I hope that's just another rumour. Can't imagine why they would. Okay, that's quinacridone magenta. This is quinacridone pink. Oh, that's like, that's quite a lot like opera pink. But of course it wouldn't be fugitive. I think opera might be a colour that fades, but most of these probably wouldn't fade because they're Daniel Smith. And this one is quinacridone red. Then we've got quinacridone rose. Yeah, that's like opera too. And quinacridone sienna. So I presume that is like, oh my goodness me. That's very powerful, isn't it? My goodness. Bright orange. And then violet. Guess what? Quinacridone. Well, it's pretty obvious that these colours would make any floral painting sing, wouldn't it? So now we have quinacridone purple, which has got to be bluer than that one. I will write the names in later. And lilac, quinacridone. That's not what I call lilac. But there we go. Cascade green. I've heard of that colour. It's nice green. It looks a little bit like Windsor green. Imperial purple. That's like a dioxazine purple, isn't it? And then we've got wisteria, which looks like the same colour but with white in it. That's obviously got white in it. Oh, and then we have got the burnt sienna. Yeah, it's definitely duller than the quinacridone gold that I was talking about earlier. Then we've got lavender here. think I probably have taken the thing away. Aussie Red Gold always makes me think of hue braiding, New Zealand. Oh my goodness, that's bright. That wasn't the colour that the art spectrum called Aussie Red Gold. So it's really a good idea to have these dot cards so that you can see, because the title, the name of it doesn't have much to do with what the paint looks like, to be honest. And different manufacturers call things the same thing, but it isn't. They're made from different combinations. This is Raw Sienna Light, completely different from Winsor & Newton's Raw Sienna. Rose Madder Permanent. That's going to be another pink, a bit like opera pink. That's not what I would call Rose Madder either, actually, to tell you the truth. So the traditional names have gone a bit by the board. Lunar Black. I've heard Lunar Black referred to in glowing terms. I don't know quite why. It just looks like black to me. So there we are. That's that. So yes, well, that's nice. All the quinacridones there, every possible option. And we've got down here, we've got a few things like duochrome hibiscus. I'm not going to bother with those. I'm not really into iridescent iridescent colours. I quite like the these ones, the Jean Haynes ones, I think are quite nice. They actually, especially this blue, which is really rather good. Anyway, so I'll put links to all of these in the description below. And, you know, if you're interested in one or two of these colours, you don't have to buy a whole set. You don't have to buy all 350 of the colours that Daniel Smith does. And some of these look, you know, they're so similar. It's not necessary at all to have all of these reds. You just don't need it. You know, I think if I was going to invest in some colours from them, looking at what we've got here, I would probably go for, let's see, you need a cool and a red, a cool and a warm red. And looking at this, we've got, that's a nice clean red. That's quinacridone red. That would probably be a good mixing colour. And then this one is quinacridone sienna. That's a nice orange. That's a very hot colour. I might go for that. Imperial purple. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but no. Tricky, very, very tricky. Because you should have a warm and a cool, yellow, blue, and red, really, basically. There's no blues here. Basically, there's just this pale imitation ultramarine. So I know this isn't all their colours by a long chalk. So it's just an indication of some of the few that they chose to send me, or mostly the quinacridones. So yes, well, that would take some thinking about to decide which ones of those I might want to buy. I'm not sure. I've probably got more colours than I need anyway, so I probably wouldn't. But, you know, if I show you my reds here, this is my Michael Harding set, and I've got quinacridone purple, quinacridone rose, yellow, gold, and blah, blah. A lot of these are quinacridone colours anyway, so it's the same thing, really. So I think I could probably leave it there. I think I could probably rightly be, accused of rambling today. But some people may have enjoyed it. And so we'll just take a quick look once more at this painting here that we did earlier. And hopefully you enjoyed that. I will put this up tonight, hopefully. And do come and watch it. We need you to take yourselves away from the dreadful news that's going on out there at the moment. As usual, nothing new under the sun is there. Go and do some painting instead and take your mind off of all those things that we don't want to think about. So I'll say bye-bye for now then, and I'll see you again soon. Have a lovely evening, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.